Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, welcome back to the Coast to Coast podcast. I'm joined by my lovely co host, Anthony and Barufi. We have an amazing episode prepared for you guys. We're going to be going over our predictions for the MLB season coming up. So, Anthony, take it away.
Okay, we're just gonna
Oh
jump
yeah,
right
put
in,
you on the
huh? All
spot. Yeah,
right.
let's
Wow.
go. Yeah.
Wow. I thought we would open up with a little bit of small talk. I know a couple days ago you mentioned that you had
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
work drama. Ooh, spooky
I'm,
work drama.
I'm glad.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm
So why don't
Pardon
glad
me,
that we
Chuck.
got back to this.
yeah why don't you take it back away and start with your work drama?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Take it back
I
away. It's
gave it to you.
crazy.
I'm taking it back. Okay, so essentially, what happened is I so I was sick last week from Tuesday to Thursday. So already looks bad because I missed 3 days in a row, and I was already gonna quit on Friday. So
Oh,
looks
that's
bad.
lovely.
Um, yeah. Well, the issue is with this job, if you kind of put in your 2 weeks, they kind of don't let you work your last 2 weeks, and I still wanted to work my last 2 weeks. So um basically I was sick from Tuesday through Thursday, did not work, and then I went in Friday knowing that I was about to quit. And so I went in and I talked to one of my coworkers and I was basically like, "Hey, I know I just joined this basketball team with you and Javier, and I didn't know if Javier was going to get pissed off at me about me quitting cuz he's kind of our boss, and then above him is who I have to quit to. So we have one person A, and then we have Javier, and then we have us. And so I didn't want Javier to be pissed because I was quitting and I wasn't on his team. So come to find out, the
Mm.
guy that I was talking to was also quitting at the exact same time that
Oh
Oh,
I
my
that's
was, and he was
lovely.
God.
like, "No," and so he was like, "No, no, you're good. I've talked to Javi about me quitting. He's not gonna be mad because guess what?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "He's quitting too." I was
What?
like,
Good
"Okay,
grief.
really?"
AT&T,
And so
man. Ooh, the stock
Yo, what
is
is going on
the
over
stock
there?
is
Yeah,
dying.
what is going
no,
on
no.
over there?
AT&T sucks, but it's actually Smart Circle that mega sucks. So don't ever work for Smart Circle people because it's just a bad company. They don't pay their employees, but allegedly. Um,
Allegedly.
Yeah, yeah.
but no. So basically, I went in there, and then me and my coworker were talking about how we were both going to quit, and then we eventually get to the point where we go into a meeting with or person one, the person who's above Javier, and he was like, "Yeah, I got an opportunity with an insurance company," and she was like, "I totally understand, more power to you, that's a better fit, and if you like hopefully that works out for you." And then and then she's like, "Cool. I want to talk with Jacob one on one about this." I was like, "Oh no." And she basically like tried to degrade me and like say that I was dishonest with her and that I really need to work on
Oh,
my
that's
like
great.
respect and like I need to communicate better. And she in fairness, she's referencing that I said that I was all in with AT&T a week and a half ago, which at the time I was, but the more I thought about it, wanted more like reliable money, because commission-based jobs aren't great for reliable money. But really, I find it fascinating that she called me dishonest
Oh.
because I originally approached her 3 weeks ago and I said, "Hey, I got hired on for
Ooh.
this job at Newport, where I'm going to be working as a professional server at a fine dining restaurant. And I would love to work part time there and then part time here since all I'm doing is commission here. So I feel like you're not losing out on anything. I'm just going to be making you money and making myself money whenever I have time to work." And she originally said, "Works for me." And then 2 days later, she rescinded said offer and said that it would ruin the integrity of the office for me to work both jobs part
Ooh.
time. And so I find it really funny that you want to tell me that I'm dishonest when you made a job offer and you had it outlined with your employee and immediately rescinded it when you realized that it didn't benefit you. So no, that's why I chose to not stay with AT&T. But no, so then
Allegedly,
once
allegedly.
no, that's not alleged. That's
Oh,
true.
okay,
That's
okay,
a
okay.
fact.
Just wanted to clarify.
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
Barufi, there are no depositions going on. Don't worry about that, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just trying to make sure.
Um, but but no, so I had that like I was I was just frustrated, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come back and get my paycheck and whatever. Come back,
Damn.
my paycheck was like $1,200, so hell yeah. And then um what I found out because I was talking with the other guy that quit with me, and he told me that after we left, she called Javi and bitched him out and told him that it was his fault that me and Luke were leaving, even though me and Luke were both just unhappy with the job and that we actually highly respect Javi, and he's one of the reasons why we stayed as long as we did. And
That's lovely.
so, yeah, so she basically disrespected the only person who we respected, and I I don't want to say only person because like if like my boy Nate or my boy Brandon, I respect y'all. Y'all are cool. Y'all are great at your job. You're respectable humans. I'm saying like for people who are above us, we only respected Javi. So it's one of those things where it's like, how are you gonna go out and blame someone who has been your best employee, who has been reliable, who's done so much for you, and then just like blame them for everything that you were shortcoming on? That just doesn't make sense to me. So he felt disrespected as he should, and he also, as far as I'm aware, allegedly he quit as well. There's one person who denied said claim, but I'm pretty certain he quit. So you just lost like three of your highest sales employees. Now you're not making as much money, and actually, it's really funny now because she is going door to door for businesses, doing what we had to do because we're not making her any money now.
Naturally.
And I just find that so much fun that she actually
Wow.
has to like work for her money now. I know. Because she was getting 50% of our commission. So we would work and she would get half of it, even though she did none of our work.
Well, that doesn't seem very fair at
Nice.
all.
That's
No,
lovely.
but that's Smart
Boo!
Circle.
Boo! Boo! Smart circle! Boo!
And then
Yeah,
dude, well,
all
and
I'm
what's
hearing is
crazy is
I'm
she
never
tried to
working for
hold.
a TNT.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean,
Mm,
especially as a dental hygienist,
yeah.
but soon to be dentist. But no, so she would also try and like hold that over our head. She'd be like, 50% commission is higher than the other offices give out. I'm like, don't you think it's fucked up that you guys are taking half of our commission when you aren't doing any of the work? And they're
That's a
like,
good
well, we
point.
hired you. We gave you the opportunity. I'm like, okay, I guess. Anyways, that was my work drama. It was only a small piece of information, you know?
Mm. All right. Well,
A small
dramas,
piece.
dramas, dramas, drama.
As far as I know, this is all false.
God, it could be.
Yeah, I'm just
You know,
lying, dude.
he. Look,
I'm a
if
really good
if a
storyteller.
defamation lawsuit shows up on my doorstep, I know who to call and who to blame, and that's you,
Yep.
buddy.
Yep.
It's you.
Saul. Saul Goodman.
In case this goes under investigation, I just want to clear my name and say I'm not involved with
Yeah.
AT&T
Plausible
or
deniability,
Jacob,
baby.
for that matter.
Plausible deniability.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Who is that guy?
Just putting
Jacoby?
that out there.
I don't know who
Who's this moron?
that. Yes. Yes.
Give me the Olive Garden guy. God.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Well, I guess it's more exciting than nothing happening in your life, which is great. Is there anything else? Any other big
Yeah.
news, perhaps, from either of you?
Oh, I love my new job, and Opus is a good movie. And people who say that it's bad just because there are similar movies, fuck you.
Okay. Well, that's
Okay, well
that
there we go. A bit
that is
extremist me,
yeah,
but
maybe a little
this guy's on a
extremist.
roll today.
Yeah. Yeah, on a big time roll.
Extremist.
Yeah, it's a little extreme. So I haven't seen it yet, of course, as we said in the prelim. But my question to you is that after we talked about recent horror thriller type of films and the comparisons in narrative structure and genre and all that, all the above, does it make a little bit more sense why people are comparing the film? Because like again, I haven't seen it, but even from the trailer, I can tell like this is very The Menu esque.
Uh, I mean, it is extremely similar to Blink Twice. That's the movie that I am drawing the most comparison to, but that doesn't make it not a good movie. That's where my dis like that's where my issue with the argument is.
Hmm.
It's not that you don't find comparisons between these films because there are very much similarity in them. That doesn't make Opus unoriginal or bad
Sure.
because even like I know you said like the menu came out a while ago, but for the one that I find it very similar to is Twice. Opus was in production well before 2024, so I feel like it's a little bit not disrespectful, but you're being uneducated by saying that it's just a direct copy of Blink Twice when this movie like probably filmed shooting like a year ago.
Sure, but at the same time, the same could be said for Blink Twice, right? Where Blink Twice came out in 2024. I think, in fact, it may have been a festival release in 2023. So it may have been filmed and shot and put in post and everything even years prior if it was a 2023 festival release. So you know what I'm and I get what you're saying about, like, films that are very similar don't have to be bad. It's like it's almost like are we really going to shit on Star Wars because it's similar to Dune? You know what I mean? At least as far as the novel's concerned. No, Star Wars is its own thing.
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
think part of the thing that people don't like is when things do veer into that too similar territory, especially in their opinion, that it becomes just completely derivative and therefore boring. You know what I mean? You know what's going to happen. You
Hmm.
know the things about it already, and also, if there's nothing interesting or new being added to the plate or to the table, then again, just becomes boring. It's uninteresting. It's not inspired in any way. And so I think that is the take that a lot of people probably have about it. Not just that it's similar, so it's not good. It's probably that it's too similar, and so therefore it's boring for a lot of people.
I guess that's fair. Um, I just think it's a I don't know if I can't say necessarily better, but I enjoyed the story of Opus a lot more than Blink Twice, specifically because I felt like Blink Twice was very uncomfortable. Not that I
I
like
mean,
felt
yeah,
overly uncomfortable, but like the whole like narrative is
sure. I
the whole
mean,
narrative is kind of
and Blink Twice
not it.
opens. I'm not sure how Opus opens, but Blink Twice opens with the trigger warning at the beginning of it. Like, you are gonna see graphic imagery. You're gonna see that shit that happens in that movie. And so I guess I understand, like, not enjoying a movie as much because it does make you uncomfortable or something. But for me, at least, again, haven't seen Opus yet, so I can't comment on that one. But with Blink Twice, I appreciated how uncomfortable it made me feel in those moments, because it it turned from a an awkward comedy slash mystery slash that type of film to, oh, shit's getting real now. And the tonal shift worked, and the way that they wanted to go about talking about the issue, I think, really worked for me. Again, you know I liked Blink Twice a lot, and I was definitely in the minority for the people that liked it so much. But I also did see the very clear similarities to something like The Menu or Midsummer, which is even farther back, which also not quite as similar as The Menu, but still that cult horror vibe to it.
I want to rewatch Blink Twice, to be honest with you, because I think on a rewatch I might be able to give it more credit. But I do like, I mean, like I said, whenever I reviewed that movie, its acting is phenomenal. The direction is amazing. The cinematography is it's award nomination worthy in my opinion. And so I liked a lot of it with the story. It's just the narrative that I had an issue with, but maybe I can come with like on a second watch, maybe I can like appreciate that more. Because I mean, these are like not necessarily unrealistic things that happen. Like there are islands like this where people who have too much money do really bad things.
Well, that
This isn't like an unrealistic.
it was a direct reference to, like, the Diddy parties and stuff, which is really ironic and funny in a dark way, that the whole Diddy thing was happening at around the time that this movie released. So it did end up getting a little bit more buzz
Mhm.
because of that how timely it seemed, even though, again, the movie was made 2 years ago or whatever. But yeah, it managed to fit itself perfectly in a window of time where we were just talking about P. Diddy and about the really, really awful shit that he did and at these parties and whatever. And that's very much what it's trying to get at in the film.
Hmm. Um, Side note, totally like doesn't mean anything, but I really like the Opus movie poster.
It's a little minimalist
It's
for me,
simple
I
but
guess,
effective.
but yeah, yeah.
It
Well,
also, for no reason, gives me like Aladdin vibes.
that's interesting. Maybe the font color.
I have no idea, to be honest. I think it might just be like the sun hitting her skin or something. I don't know, but it just made me think of that. I don't know why. Saving the
Nothing that you
best for
guys haven't
last.
heard, really.
Boo,
Um,
boring, boo! Give us something new!
I mean, yeah, it's true though. Well, I mean,
Yeah, how's spring break?
um, well, I have something exciting going on Saturday. I'm going to a little road trip to Daytona. It's about a 3 hour and a half drive. Um, there's an event going on over there called Mission of Mercy. It's basically this big event that happens once a year. I don't think it's just in Florida. I think it's throughout the country. But it's happening in Florida. I think it's once a year in Florida, but I might be mistaken. Um, and basically what it does is it gives free dental care. I think it runs for 4 days. A bunch of dentists volunteer, hygienists, pre-dental like me, and just people who want to volunteer to facilitate the event. And that's basically what it does. It just provides free dental care to underrepresented communities. It's a pretty cool thing. I'll be there all day. Pretty much families coming over with as well. And tomorrow is my 4th year anniversary with my girlfriend, so that's the most exciting thing I got going on.
Really
That's
cool,
huge,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
But yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, nothing else other than that, still doing my stuff at the dental office, having loads of fun.
That's pretty big stuff, man. You
Oh
said that
yeah.
you didn't have anything going on. That's certainly more than I've got going on.
Yeah, my girlfriend has already told me I have this defect of saying like my day was fine,
You're
and
downplaying
suddenly I
it, yeah.
remember something that just yeah, something I just like remember something and I just ran about my whole day. And she was like, "That was a lot of shit. Like, what do you mean you had nothing going on?"
Yeah,
So it's just something
dude.
I have perhaps.
Like, dude's like the dude will be like, yeah, I mean, nothing really eventful happened on in my day,
Yeah.
and like a car like crashed into his dental office or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, just a normal day,
Dude,
walk through a park where some terrorists were taking over, just nothing happened. I was held at
Mm,
gunpoint. It's
yeah,
okay.
nothing new.
Yeah.
Rufy's the kind of guy to have like a movie about him, and the movie just starts off with, "You're probably wondering how I got here."
No,
Well,
I think that about
my
you,
newest
Jacob. I
record
think that about
arrived.
you.
I don't think you can see it.
With the ironic humor. Totally, yeah.
For sure. For sure.
What were you saying,
Oh,
Boofy?
one last thing I forgot to mention.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Well, no, you first.
Me? No, I haven't.
You
Yeah.
jumped in.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's snowed today,
Oh, that's big. Snowing in March.
March 19th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
couple
I'm
days from
not thrilled
spring.
about it.
Yeah, that is interesting. In
Snowing on spring break, actually.
that area getting snow in mid March, like we're like 2 days from the spring
It's not
equinox.
irregular.
That's very fascinating, in my opinion, just based on location and weather and
This
whatever.
Kansas gets a lot more snow than you would think, to be honest.
See, that is what's confusing to me. I totally get snow, especially in the winter, of course, but even this, we're still technically in winter, only for a couple more days at this point at the time of recording. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a little surprising to me, but pretty cool, I guess.
Mhm.
I mean, it's weird, but Kansas's calendar is like a little bit. It's like a month or two behind. So like honestly, winter doesn't really start until January. Like we're pushing like 60-degree days up until around December 20th. Oftentimes we have like nice weather for Christmas, and then it snows after Christmas. And so I know that February is typically like the coldest month in Kansas, and it sucks. Like February is by far my least favorite month. Not because of the month that it is, but just like the weather.
Hmm.
um, it just sucks. So I'm definitely like late April, early May is like my favorite time of the year because that's when it's getting like 85, really cool breeze, just immaculate weather outside.
Just come to Florida.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's in Florida actually. Right now, my girlfriend's in Tampa.
Lovely. Really close to where I'm going Saturday.
That's
But
really ironic.
Yeah, just a hop and a
it's about
skip
a 3
away.
hours ish something drive. Yeah.
I should have her hop on the podcast on your camera.
Just tell her to go to Mission of Mercy, see some teeth be pulled or
Oh,
something.
maybe
Oh,
she could
okay.
get a checkup.
I
Yeah, if it
remember
was Thanksgiving, I would just tell her that she can go stay with you.
maybe she can get a checkup. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Huh?
Yep. Yep.
If it was Thanksgiving, I would just tell her that she can go stay with you. You know.
No,
For
don't
Thanksgiving.
bring that back up. Don't you dare bring that back up. No. Okay. All right. For context, one of my buddies over here, we'll call him John.
Okay,
John,
John.
John is the least.
we were
He's the
playing.
least John person ever.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's protecting identity here. Unlike you naming your coworkers directly. But anyway, all right.
Yeah,
So
Javier, come on.
so we were talking. I don't know why. John and Jacob and I were in a call together, probably talking football or whatever. And then it was a couple years ago, and it was around Thanksgiving,
Oh
and
yeah.
John, because John was invited to my
Mhm.
Friendsgiving. I usually host a Friendsgiving every year with 10 or so people show up, and it's a potluck style, so everybody brings a dish or something like that, and we'll play games after, whatever. John decides in the middle of this call, this is his first time meeting Jacob ever, like talking to him ever, and John's just like, yeah, you should come to
Was
Friendsgiving.
it his first time?
I think maybe it was his second time, but it was very early. Like you had just met this guy. If not that day, then maybe a couple weeks prior. John's just like, yeah, why don't you come over for Friendsgiving? I'm like, dog, what are you doing? Number one, it's my event. I pick out who wants to come. Number two, he lives in Kansas, bro. What are you doing? Inviting a random person? Like, you have never met this guy before, John, and you're gonna invite a random guy that you just met from Kansas to the West Coast, to California, to a Friendsgiving for your friend who it was just the funniest, like
That's
most
insane.
random
Yeah.
encounter. Like
What
it was
is
so
what is
weird.
worse?
What
What
is
is worse,
worse?
inviting someone for your friends thing or inviting someone from Kansas to the thing?
Wow. Okay. So fuck you, Rufy. Just because I'm from Kansas, you're gonna
No,
assume
No,
this
it's
thing.
because you're so far. It's
I
not because you're from Kansas.
I really
Because
think
it's
it's a
far.
combination of things, right? It's the geographical location, 1,000 miles away. They would, you would fly, or you would take 2 days to drive here, right? That's number one. Okay. And number two, it's a friend of a friend at that point, right? Because he is inviting you to me, and but the third thing is that they had just met.
You just met,
It
yeah.
was the first
But
time
I still
in real
think
time
the
talking to
the
each other.
second one is for sure the worst.
Yeah, well,
I think
regardless, it was
inviting someone to your friends thing is absurd.
it was just really
To be
funny
fair,
though.
me and John are close friends on Instagram. I be liking all of his
Oh,
posts. He's
Man, well, fuck off.
that's actually, I don't even know if
dude, you
I
didn't even get to the craziest
I
part.
don't even know if I'm in his close friends list on Instagram. I have no idea.
Oh, I'm not in his close friends list, but I do be liking all his posts, and he likes mine.
Oh,
But no, you didn't even get to the craziest part, which was I was when we told because he originally was like, "Are you coming to Friendsgiving?" And then I said no, and he was like, "Oh, you should come." I'm like, "Oh no, I live in Kansas." He's like, "It's okay, you can stay in Anthony's living."
that's right. Yes,
Wow.
yes, he did say that. I was like, dog. He did say I totally forgot about that until you said it right now. Yeah, wow. Yeah. Yeah, that guy. Man, good old John.
What a piece
It
of
is
work, huh?
well, for those at home, you're probably thinking, "Oh, well, he must have been trolling." No, he was dead serious.
I know. After I was like, bro,
He
what are
was
you
being
doing?
fully
he
serious.
kept talking about it, and he didn't let it go. It was so funny. Anyway, yeah, like
And I feel like I messaged you privately.
you may have at some point. Like, what is happening? It was just so bizarre and like the most weird like encounter thing where I had invited this person to come on a call to learn something or talk something or whatever, and Jacob was there too, and probably because we were talking
We were talking
for.
about fantasy football.
Yeah, we were talking about. Yeah, there you go. Okay, that works. I just banged my mic. God damn it. But yeah, like it's just the
Nice.
most weird, hilarious thing ever, and that's just one of the quirks of John, and it's really funny and endearing to a degree, but also weird to another degree. Uh, you know who you are if you're listening. You're great.
Lovely.
Oh, topic changer.
Wait,
Topic
it's
changing
changing the
hat.
hat.
He's ready for the main event.
No, finish your topic. Finish your topic, though.
Oh, I was done. That was it there. So, I mean, if you guys really want to know what's going on in my
Okay.
life, it's nothing. No, but spring league youth soccer is going on, so I'm doing that. I'm coaching that. We've got our first game this weekend. That should be a lot of
Nice.
fun.
Name drop every kid that you coach.
No.
Yeah, no balls.
I can't even come up with fake names fast enough for that one. I'm good, man. Yeah, but
In recent news, local Californian fired from coaching Little League Soccer for name
man,
dropping every kid.
For doxing
that
every single player on the team.
that must be one of the more embarrassing things that you can have happen to you. Get fired from volunteer work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a sick hat, Jacob.
Oh, you like it?
That's a sick
Yeah,
hat.
it was a hand-me-down. I love it.
He thinks it's sick isn't cool.
Dude,
It
Anthony, I
makes
will
me
say this.
sick
I
physically.
did not.
What?
Oh, okay.
For
I've been playing a lot of NHL on Xbox lately.
I saw you playing. We should play sometime. I think we can crossplay.
Ooh.
For context, we beat him in the Stanley Cup Finals.
In 2016, the Sharks have not been the same
Oh.
since.
No, it's been long. It's been
To
long.
be fair, the Penguins haven't been either.
But you got
Yeah, but
you
this is
got
the
the
worst
Stanley Cup.
Penguins team. Okay, hold on. This is
Oh,
the
we've
worst
had
Penguins
plenty in
team
my life.
since Crosby was drafted. Okay, like this is the absolute worst for like a long time. Okay.
I don't know. Last year was also atrocious.
Nah, I'm pretty sure this is worse.
Dude, I should honestly do a Pittsburgh Penguins rant because this team, it's all Tristan Jarry. It is 110%
How do
Tristan
they
Jarry's
not? How
fault.
do they not trade Crosby at the deadline?
Because he's gonna retire a Penguin, and I don't care if it jeopardizes our integrity as a team.
Well, they for sure got offers. Okay, and big ones. A team that's trying to rebuild, I think they have to put that shit aside and get the rebuild going. But that's just me.
No. See, this is the thing. As a Royals fan, I was pushing for us to trade Salvador Perez. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I was wanting us to trade
I
Salvador
was.
Perez.
I was remembering that. Yes.
But I cannot process Sidney Crosby not being a Penguin.
Okay, but like, you gotta understand it's a business, right?
Yeah, so get a better fucking goalie than Tristan Jarry. That guy is terrible.
Right.
There's
Dude,
no
train
there's no
Crosby.
way. There's no way I have the same birthday as Tristan Jarry, dude. That makes me want to die. That makes me wish I wasn't born.
What? Yo. Yo.
What a coincidence. Oh my
I cannot
god.
believe that I have to share a birth.
That is
I
comedy
cannot believe
gold.
that I share a birthday with this dog shit goalie.
Oh,
Jeez.
How are you a motherfucking starter when you have an 89% save percentage? That is horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
it's not ideal, but listen, you gotta understand who he plays with there. Okay, he's playing with the Penguins, right? It's not the best team by those year.
You're telling me that Eric Carlson and Chris
Look,
Letang is a bad
just
defenseman group?
yeah, okay. Listen, just to give you an example. Okay, look at Vitek Vanacek. All right, he was playing with the Sharks. Florida just acquired him. He came from San Jose. I mean, it's San Jose. Right, you have no support whatsoever. He's played 2 games for the Panthers right now. He's been absolutely phenomenal. I'm just saying, a change of scenery for goalies goes a long way. All right, and it's not just a pair of defensemen. There's 3 pairs. There's forwards are also supposed to help out in front. Right, it's not just a singular pair of defensemen. So I definitely think if he got a change of scenery, maybe he would do better.
Uh, I mean, I hope he doesn't, because if he leaves and is better, I'm gonna be pissed. How in the fuck do we not have Marc-Andre Fleury as our? How? Why is Marc-Andre Fleury not doing his final year with the Penguins when he has a better save percentage than our younger
But
guy?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If I'm in the Penguins front office, like you have to be a businessman with this shit. Yes, you want Crosby. Crosby is an NHL legend. He's a Penguin legend, no doubt about that. But he has still immense trade value. He still play puck. He has at least what 2 good years in him. A contender
Well,
would
he
a contender
well,
would
even
give a
as
big
just like
trade
a
for him.
facilitator, he's gonna be one of the better passers in the
Exactly.
league. He has 50
Exactly.
assists this year.
Exactly. He's still a phenomenal player. A contender would do a big trade for him. The Penguins need something. They have no direction right now. I would have traded Sidney Crosby so fast if I'm the Penguin
Uh,
GM.
I have a question. Plus minus means the person that he's supposed to be manned up on, right?
I always thought plus and minus were like your literal plus and minus while you're on the ice.
Oh, okay, that's probably what that means.
Yeah,
So his plus minus this year is negative 23 while having 74 points in 68 games. That's
that's my
horrible.
point. That's my point. Like you see what I'm saying?
It's because Tristan Jory sucks, okay? God.
Listen, one thing about the NHL is it's guys don't have a lot of ice time. It's so hard to blame one thing in 1 to 2 guys in an NHL team. It takes literally so many people. It's very far from basketball, for instance. Um, I think the Penguins could have done a better job at the deadline as sellers. I'm not sure where they're trying to go with this team, but
How much is Marc-Andre Fleury being paid right now? 2.5 million. You're
not a
telling me you
lot.
couldn't
Not a
fucking pay
lot.
him two and a
Yeah,
half million?
not a
I
lot.
hate this
But
team.
that's what I'm saying. Why would you play Flurry? Like, what are you doing playing Flurry?
He has a better save he's with the Minnesota Wild right now. He has a better save percentage than Tristan Jory does. He could have
Okay,
at
and
least had like a retirement year with
why
him.
are the Wild a contender going to release their starter? Or well, I mean,
No,
not
he was a
starter
free
anymore, but
agent going into this year
right. But why are the Penguins gonna pay him? Also that.
because he's fucking better than Jari. And it's a
Okay, but then you pay him and then what? You still miss playoffs because you're still gonna miss the playoffs.
okay, but then I would have had at least the nostalgia of having Marc-Andre Fleury retire into his final year as a fucking Penguin. You know, the team that he started his
Listen,
career with, the team
I
that he became one of the best goalies of all time with.
I don't blame you for talking like a fan, but you can see how, from the business standpoint, this makes absolutely no sense,
But
right?
also, what if he wanted to change the
It
scenery
really
too,
doesn't,
right? We
though.
just talked about changes of scenery. Part of the thing may have been that he also wanted to change the scenery, you know?
Yeah, exactly that.
Dog,
I mean, Flurry's been great in Minnesota.
We're paying Tristan Jory 6 million a year for the next 5 years.
That is a lot. That is a lot, and more reason why you should try to get rid of him. You know, money and give the guy a change of scenery. There's no reason to stick with him if it's not working.
God, we
The
have
Panthers, the Panthers, the Penguins should really just sell. They really should have sold like a lot at the deadline.
Well, what I don't understand is we had Marc-Andre Fleury, and then we let him go because we had Matt Murray. Matt Murray was the big guy. And
Mm.
then Matt Murray, we were like, oh, well, he's not as good as Tristan Jarry is.
Mm.
No, neither of them were good. And yeah, we won a Stanley Cup with Matt Murray, but he hasn't been good since. And then we switched over to Tristan Jarry, and he hasn't ever been good. And so I just don't understand this. Like, what's the complacency here? Why are we paying Tristan Jarry so much money? Because I'll tell you what, when I play with him in NHL, I get angry because I will literally I will have like 15 shots from the opponent all game, and I'll have 5
Uh-huh.
goals against me.
Uh-huh.
It's ridiculous.
Well,
I hear you.
it's not as ridiculous as having only 18 wins. Because that's what the Sharks
That
have.
it's something, isn't it?
The Sharks have 9 overtime losses. They have exactly half the amount of overtime losses as they do wins. That's how sad that this fucking team is. Oh my god. That's incredible.
But if I'm a Sharks fan, I'll be excited for this team in about 2 to 3 years.
I don't know if I can wait that long.
Hey,
But
you want to know
you
something
kind of have
crazy?
to though. They're getting their new guys going.
You want to know something crazy?
Let's hear it.
Tristan Jarry has a winning record this year.
Oh, and look at you. You're disparaging him as if he's
So
the
why are you so
problem.
mad? Right?
Because he's still giving up 4 goals a game. That's
Well,
still not good.
but it's less than 5, and your offense just scores 5.
It's less than 5, right? Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'm saying. If we're putting up 5 goals a game, how do we have a losing record?
You're not. That's why. Look, it just sounds to me like you should be blaming your offense. There's not enough offense.
Not enough offense for how bad our goalie is.
Let's see. 66 points. Your goal differential's negative 50.
Jesus Christ.
Because our goalie sucks.
Well, let's see.
Let's hear special teams.
In
If we're
fairness,
talking about goalies, let's hear some special teams.
It does sound like it does look like he's given up the most goals, or at least the Penguins in general have given up them by. Oh nope, San Jose. San Jose's got you beat. San Jose's got you beat by 1 goal allowed. By 1 goal allowed. It's 254 to 255.
That is so many goals in one season tonight. My God.
But it's okay though, because
it hasn't even been a full season.
Because you guys have scored
games left.
204 goals, and the Sharks have scored 178.
They scored 178.
How many have the Panthers scored? Can you check that out for me?
Anthony, what makes this even more impressive is that you guys have 1 more goal allowed in 2 less games.
Look, it just gets better and better. Let's see. Your goal differential is plus 37. 221 goals for and 184 goals allowed.
That's not bad.
I'm telling you, Roofy, if we had a league average goalie, we would win games. We would be in the playoffs if we had a league average goalie.
Hey, if you say so. Hey, if you say so.
All right, that's enough.
If you say so. If you say so, I hear you.
Yeah. Well, since we're on the topic of sports, and of course our main event tonight is MLB regular season predictions, I guess there's no better time than now to run through them for the final.
Before we get to that,
half hour or so. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we get to that, it's not even a rant. It's just a very fair question. What the fuck is going on in Tokyo? Like, why is the preseason going on alongside the regular season, and then the regular season starts and the preseason is still going? That fucks up my gears, bro. Like, why does that happen?
It's because Robert Manfred is the worst commissioner in baseball, and so they do a Tokyo series.
2 days ago, my dad and I are going
the
to
Dodgers
work.
are already 2-0.
Yeah, my dad and I are going to work, and I like we're on the way. Like it's 8 a.m. Right? I look over to him, I'm like, the season started. I'm like, you mean the preseason? And I'm like, no, the Dodgers are playing the Cubs. And he said it's 8 a.m. And so then they're playing in Tokyo, and it's like, isn't the preseason still going on next week? And I'm like, yeah. So he's like, what? And I have the same reaction, like, what the fuck?
It's weird because for some reason you allow 2 teams to play and then have a week off and then play again. But it also, in a way, feels a little bit like a disadvantage for those teams because their spring is cut short. It's really weird. I don't understand why you would do that.
It's super weird.
I understand adding a travel day or even 2 travel days, especially if you're going across the Pacific like that. But like an entire week is basically what's been allotted to them for a 3-game series. Or is it even 3? Is it 2?
It's a two.
It's 2.
I don't get it. I'm totally with you there. And now, of course, another reason they did the Tokyo series this way with the Dodgers and Cubs is because combined, they have 5 Japanese
A
players on
lot
those
of,
2 teams.
yeah, no,
So
I
there's a
get
lot of
that. I get that. I think
representation
it's
there.
pretty
But
cool.
yeah, the
But
week
couldn't we do
early
it in the
thing,
middle of the season or something? Why does it have to be the start of
it
the
could have been,
season?
it could have
They
been,
did it with the Padres
it,
last
they
year.
did. Was that Tokyo though? Or was that Korea?
Yeah, I believe so.
They point is they did it as well last season, but it was dumb then too. It's not dumb because you're traveling. It's dumb because it's a week in advance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
You could just as easily do it like Rufy said if you're not going to start the season at the midpoint and then the All-Star break, so you have recovery time. I don't know. Yeah.
There you go.
It,
Have opening day be for all 30 teams. They're not even playing on opening day.
Exactly. I don't understand.
So
And that's been
stupid.
a thing that's happened for a while now, even before they
A
were
long
doing that
time. I
thing.
remember
Is that
last year. Last year, I asked you guys the same question.
yeah, not every
It's not the
team
first
plays on
time I asked you
opening
this.
day. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So,
It's
it's
open
so weird.
it's opening day of baseball. How do you not have all 30 teams playing? How?
Isn't that supposed to be the whole thing? Like, isn't that supposed to be the whole thing about opening day?
That's part of the allure is that everybody plays and I at least as far as I know it used to be at the exact same time too. So you like didn't know the results of opening day until the games were over, you know? I don't know. It's really
It
bizarre.
was
That
in
sucks.
South Korea last year. It
Yeah,
was in Seoul.
there you go. I figured it
Well, that sucks
was,
ass
but
now.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. It's weird. Dodgers, congrats. You're 160 games away from perfect season as per Fox Sports MLB already talking about a perfect season because of course they are because it's the Dodgers and Shohei
Even
Ohtani's on the
though
team.
every single team, because even though every single team has a chance at it, except the Cubs,
Yeah,
obviously.
every other team could theoretically go 162-0, but that's not a news story. What
Yeah,
again? Another
exactly.
thing that could be a fun news story going into an opening day where all 30 teams play. You could do the exact same post, but for every baseball team. Oh, well, we're gonna find out who has 162-0 in their cards, but no, we can't do that anymore because you
Yeah,
want to be special and
you could
include the
quite literally.
Dodgers every time too. By the way, last year it was Dodgers Padres.
What team has been the closest to a perfect season in baseball history?
The winningest season of all time is
You mean
2001
the best
Seattle, right?
record?
I think the
No, but I mean like
winningest.
in a
Uh,
row. Like how many? Or like what team won the most games to start the season
I'm
without
not
losing?
sure. I do know that 2 years ago, Tampa
I think
Bay
it's
started like
13.
14-0.
Yeah, and then they sucked afterwards.
Yeah.
There are
Lovely.
2 seasons. 1906 Chicago Cubs and 2001 Seattle Mariners both won 116 games. The 1906 Chicago Cubs had a much better winning percentage though because that time or at that point in time there was only 152 games in a season.
Yeah,
So 10 less, yeah.
that's
Uh,
crazy.
and then
But
Since we're talking about
competition
sports,
19
wise,
and
yeah. Quick question to you, Anthony. Have you been watching a lot of Warriors games or now?
no, I don't
oh,
care about regular season basketball at all.
Uh,
Not
I, I was
interested.
I was just
the Rays in
gonna.
2023 had the longest win streak to start a season.
Oh, there you go. It was
How many
14,
games?
right? 14?
14.
13.
Oh.
It's not a lot, right? I was expecting 20 something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's
I mean, you
baseball.
play every day,
Um,
right? Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, it's baseball. Yeah. I was gonna ask you, or
In
I'm
the
gonna tell
last
you
10
now.
years, there hasn't been a single team to crack 7 other than the Rays. And
Wow.
the only teams to crack 7 were the 2016 Orioles, which is crazy because that team sucked. And then the 2015 Royals.
There you go. Little fun
That
fact
team
nugget
didn't
for
suck.
you.
I was just gonna tell you that Butler has been dealing in Golden State.
Now I have seen that they're on a insane tear right now post trade deadline,
Yeah,
but
and
yeah,
and and they're gonna do good in the playoffs, I think.
yeah,
The way Curry's been
I hope
playing,
so. I like the Warriors.
he looks rejuvenated with the Butler trade, and Butler's a known playoff performer.
yeah, and I'll probably watch the postseason, at least significant portions of it, but regular
You probably
season
should.
basketball, I just could not care
Yeah,
less
I'm
about.
just
It's so
saying,
fucking boring.
Jim. Jimmy Buckets is must-watch TV in the playoffs.
Yeah, we've seen that over the past couple of years now.
You see this right here? See this right here? See this
Yes,
right here?
yes, yes.
Jimmy Buckets carried the sorry ass team so many fucking times.
Yeah.
The
Sorry
Miami
ass
Heat.
team. My God.
Go get LeBron back. You need him.
Oh,
No.
oh.
I like LeBron, but
No, he's ruining basketball. You
he's
shouldn't
probably
like
gonna be
him.
way too expensive. Ruining
How are
basketball
the
is crazy.
Lakers doing
Yes.
after getting Luka?
Well, they're gonna build around them in the next decade or so. They're not building to win now.
He's the LeBron successor,
But
although they could compete now still.
well, I mean, they're not a bad team now, but I definitely do think they're missing some important pieces. Like they're missing a big, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Funny how
Oh,
But
that
they're
works.
they're gonna
no.
build around them, and I think they'll do a fine job building around them.
Wait, what's the winning record in NBA?
The
Hmm?
winningest record?
Yeah,
It's the Warriors. What was it,
in
20?
2016 or 17.
Around there. I was gonna say 16. Can you go
15.
16?
It
No, 16. 16.
Yeah, it was 15, 16, 73-9. Damn.
Yep.
I was looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder record and I was like, are they low-key gonna do it?
No,
Wishful
Dude,
thinking, bud.
they're
Wishful thinking.
57-12
no,
right now.
dude.
Yeah.
They're
The Warriors went
57 and
71,
12.
and
Cleveland's
the
56
Warriors
and
were
12
no.
as well. Two teams doing really, really well. Oh my God, the
The
Southeast
fact that
Division
Warriors
does not have a
team,
team above 500. That's disgusting.
oh, color me
Absolutely,
shocked.
absolutely
Color
repulsive.
me shocked.
Dude,
Wow.
what do you know? Dude, I love the West right now because you have my team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, far and away in number one. And then the number two team, my boy Freddie Van Vliet is leading them to the playoffs.
Fucking such a
Well,
dog
it's
shit
definitely not Van
organization.
Vliet, but it's okay.
And it's Fred Van Vliet, bro.
It's definitely not
Fred
Van
Van
Vliet,
Vliet.
but I'll accept it.
Dude, I cannot believe that the Kings fell so far from grace with De'Aaron
Nah,
Fox
I
and
can never trust. I can never
Domantas
trust the team.
Sabonis.
Yeah. Count on the Kings to fuck some shit up. I can never, bro. They have to make a second division for basketball and just instantly relegate the Kings and the Hornets. I'm sick of those two. I'm sick of those two.
Why did they trade away
Relegate them
De'Aaron Fox?
because they're morons.
It's funny that you mention
I
the
still can't believe the De'Aaron. Go ahead.
Kings and Hornets thing because I don't know if you guys saw this, but a couple weeks ago, some big sports page or whatever asked AI to predict the next 75 or so NBA champions, and they some weird
And they
shit
weren't there,
happened.
right?
They were there
I saw
eventually,
the Oilers were there,
but
right?
but teams like the Shanghai Warriors or something, won an NBA title before the Charlotte Hornets. It was so fucking funny. And there were multiple examples. There was like a Mexico
Listen,
City Aztecs.
I wouldn't be
Seattle
surprised.
Sounders were back. I think that's going to happen sooner than later, actually. But yeah,
And I think they're gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. But yeah, the thing with
If Vegas got 2 Stanley Cups before I witnessed a single team from Canada win one.
you know,
listen, I wouldn't be surprised.
the
Really
Golden
would not be.
Knights in their inaugural season, actually, that was the final good season for the Sharks. We played each other in the Western Conference Finals that year, and they knocked us out in, I think, Game 7. And that was actually the last one. It wasn't the Penguins in the Stanley Cup, but that's more fun to make the story up about.
Wait. So what you're telling me is it was Marc-Andre Fleury both times?
Yeah. Yeah, I am, actually. That's really funny. God damn it.
Dude, he's him.
All right. Now, shall we
What
get
a
into
guy.
our MLB
All right,
predictions?
so should we actually get to baseball?
Yeah. All right. So
We've
I
been
don't know.
yapping for over 50 minutes.
I
Let's
think
go.
Yeah.
we can rapid fire go through these,
Hmm.
and maybe
All
give
right.
a brief sentence on teams that we're looking out for or players that we're looking
All
out
right.
for. But I've got my division rankings for each team, And so we could just go in order and then, do round robin style here. Starting with the AL East, I do have the Baltimore Orioles in first place, then the New York Yankees in
Wait,
second.
do you have reference for the stream? Because I'm looking at Opus.
No, I don't have a visual
Or do you not?
reference. Would you I
Oh.
can pull up MLB
Just
standings.
pull up MLB.com.
Yeah, that could work.
Leave it to the Cubs to be the first team to lose 2 games
Yeah, so
before anybody else even
there's
played a
the AL
game.
East for you. Again, Baltimore first place, New York Yankees second, Boston Red Sox in third place,
Mm-hmm.
Toronto Blue Jays in fourth, and the Tampa Bay Rays in fifth. That's my prediction.
Okay.
So, wait, sorry, can you say that one more time?
Baltimore,
Orioles.
New York Yankees, Boston, Toronto, Tampa.
So, I am a little bit bold. I also have Tampa in last, and I also have Orioles in first. But I have the Red Sox finishing second, the Yankees finishing third, and the Blue Jays finishing fourth. I think the Red Sox are going to have a more consistent roster. Um, at, we gotta eventually realize or talk about the fact that the Yankees are being carried by Aaron Judge in the regular season, and they're not getting much performances out of pretty much anybody else. They're also not gonna have Garrett Cole this year, so their rotation looks pretty bad. Luis Hill is gonna start out the year on the IL as well. So who's even gonna be their opening day guy? I mean, are we gonna be looking at a Max Fried as your number one in the rotation? That's not a winning rotation right there, no matter how good your offense is. So I
I
think the
like Max
Yankees are
Fried,
gonna
but I
fall
get what
from
you're
grace quite a
saying.
bit. I
I
said Max Fried.
I know I said I like Max Fried, but I get what you're saying. It's like Max Fried, and then there's not much more beyond that at this moment.
Right. I mean, I like Max Fried as a two. He's not really a rotational ace, I don't believe. Not
I
in
don't
my opinion. I
either.
mean, you
I
have
don't
Carlos
either, but
Rodon, who,
he's very good.
yeah, Carlos Rodon and Clark Schmidt. I mean, Clark Schmidt's pretty solid, but Carlos Rodon hasn't been good in a while.
I think I still
So,
think that this is a team, obviously, and you're not saying that you still have him in third. That's the only difference for us actually is the swap. But I don't know. I think
mhm.
at a right time the Yankees can really pull it together. They seem to do that at some point in the regular season. They have a really good streak of just they're really really white hot, and that allows them to have an advantage. Now Boston, I guess I prefer the lineup construction. I'm still not sold on the rotation. You guys know I'm not a fan of Garrett Crochet really at all. I think he's way overhyped. So
No, but I
that's
do like
whatever.
Walker Bueller.
Bueller's fine, yeah. He's not a world changer for me though, by any means.
No, I do agree with that. But
What's that?
I mean, Nick Pivetta and Cutter Crawford are solid pieces.
Yeah, they're just solid. You know what I mean?
What's that?
Nobody on that rotation moves the needle for me. But your predictions for AL East?
Well, I'm kind of like just going off of what you guys are saying because I don't have the knowledge to judge the teams as you guys are. MLB is very deep, roster wise, and that's something I'm
Mhm.
still getting acclimated to. I know like much more about the NHL already than I do for the MLB, and I started really following the NHL after the MLB. So, I hope the viewers don't actually take my predictions for an
Yeah,
expert.
you're gonna
Okay.
get a ton of comments.
Yeah, I'm still learning the sport. I'm still learning a lot about the sport.
Like,
And I
Tampa Bay
think
Rays
there's
won.
maybe soon enough I'll have a fraction of your guys' knowledge when it comes to baseball. But from briefly what I've seen and the little that I understand, I will say what I think. All right, and I think I have exactly what you have as well for this one, Anthony. I did have Orioles, Yankees, Red Sox, Toronto, and Tampa for this one.
Yep, sounds right. Well, the top three is really
I
where
I
you're.
really I really want to put
Toronto could be sneaky.
I really want to put the Red Sox at 4 just because I hate Boston teams, but
Fair.
I won't be biased.
Toronto
The
can be
Red Sox are
sneaky.
probably the most likable Boston team.
I guess, yeah. Perhaps. I don't know. Not a great metric for me, at least, on the opposite coast.
Right.
But um, Toronto can be sneaky. Just real quick, Toronto can be sneaky, but there's also a thing about they could also be sellers at the deadline. So I don't. I really want to hedge my bets, and I don't want to predict them to be any better than fourth at this moment. They could even be fifth because they are sellers, right? But I also am not a fan of the Rays. I don't understand why people are hyping up the Rays again. This is not a solid roster or rotation, in my opinion.
No, but they somehow get the best out of every player they have,
They
so
do, but
there
there's
is
a
that.
there's a point where it just doesn't culminate anymore, right?
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah, that
now
makes
AL
sense.
Central, Jacob, you can lead us off since you are a homer for this
Yeah,
division.
so I mean, I obviously am going to be picking my team to win the division, but that's not out of reason. This team is very capable of winning the AL Central. We went out this offseason and we didn't change anything about our rotation except for we swapped out Brady Singer. He went to the Reds in a trade where we acquired Jonathan India. He should improve our lineup a lot because we had the by far worst leadoff hitter like runs created. Basically, our leadoff hitter was worse than every other Major League Baseball team to the point where we were significantly worse than the Chicago White Sox, who were significantly worse than the next team. So there were like levels to how bad our leadoff hitter was last year, and we still were able to make the playoffs. We were able to sweep the Baltimore Orioles, who I have winning a much more competitive division. Um, I think this team is only going to improve. You can see some potential regression from like a Seth Lugo. He's probably not going to go on another Cy Young campaign just as like a 35-year-old guy who doesn't have a lot of starting experience in his history. I don't expect him to do that again. But I do expect to see a really good performance on the year from Chris Bubich, who will be taking over the rotation spot that Brady Singer left behind. I'm very high on him. So if you have any fantasy baseball leagues, obviously we're in one together, so you guys can't get him because I already have him. But if anyone's in any fantasy baseball leagues, look for Chris Bubich as good depth value as a starting pitcher. Um, but I believe this team's going to win around like 88 to 89 games and win the AL Central. I have the Detroit Tigers finishing in second. They also have
Yeah.
an amazing, solid young core. They should only get better. I like that they went ahead and brought back Jack Flaherty. That's a good rotational piece in a rotation that didn't have a lot of depth, although they are going to be relying a lot on their lineup this year to take them far. I just believe that this division isn't that good in general, so I can see them finishing second. I have the Guardians finishing third, the Twins finishing fourth, and obviously the White Sox finishing fifth. Reason for the Twins being as low as they are after being the third team, or no, they were fourth last year, but everyone is picking them to win the division this year. I'm not necessarily sure why, but a lot of people continue to pick the Twins year in year out to win the division, even though they refuse to help their roster. In a lot of cases, they just don't care enough to get better. I'm trying to think of like a good football comparison for Broofy. Um,
The Colts.
was it a team that like has a good roster? Yeah, yes, the Colts. They have like good foundational pieces. Like everyone on their team is average or mid, but then they refuse to actually go out and get good.
Guys that actually
So
elevate them, yeah.
right. So this team for another year didn't really do anything in free agency, didn't really do anything as far as trading. At the deadline last year, they didn't acquire anyone, and it made them fall from first in the division to fourth. So I
Hmm.
don't see why this team should improve in any way, shape, or form. Guardians are another team that pretty much everyone is picking to win the division. I mean, it's a pretty even race between those four teams, but the Guardians got worse this offseason. Shea Bieber still won't be back from injury, and their rotation is going to be headlined by Tanner Bybee and Gavin Williams. I like both of those guys, and I really like their bullpen, but their lineup is horrid. They gave up basically their only other power hitter besides Jose Ramirez. They allowed Josh Naylor to just kind of go for without getting any like good value back for him. So they're going to be relying on a lot of situational hitting from Steven Kwan and Jose Ramirez to kind of carry this lineup to wins, but I can't see them putting up enough offensive numbers to really do anything in the American League.
All right. Very nice, very succinct. I have I also I our top and bottom are exactly the same. I do have Kansas City winning the division, and I obviously have the Chicago White Sox. Bottom three team in baseball, probably the worst, right? So though that's a no brainer to me.
Right.
I do think Kansas City has the legs to win it this year. Although I will say I'll push back on your what you said about the division not being very competitive. I think it's going to be a very tight 4-horse race, frankly, for the
I think
top.
it's tight.
And
I was thinking
I
that as
think
well.
these four teams
No, I
might.
think it'll be very competitive. I just think the American League East is a better division.
Okay, so as far as pure strength, sure, this is a weaker division. But as far as competitive within the division, I think
Right.
these four teams are very, very close together. And so I could really see a world where at the
Agreed.
end of the season, these four teams are only separated. The first place and fourth place team are only separated by like 5 games. That seems like a very real
Mm-hmm.
scenario. So, but I do have KC number one, probably like 86 wins for me. Minnesota number two, Detroit number three, and Cleveland number four, and then again Chicago in last place.
What has you believing in Minnesota, especially with Royce Lewis being out?
So the Royce Lewis thing sucks, and it seems like every year there's an injury thing that happens. But again, if they can maintain health throughout their other players, their other pieces, Carlos Correa quietly had a really great year last season, and I expect that to continue. I'm also a big fan of their rotation still. I know it was a little bit weaker last year in performance, but I think just as much, they can continue to get better as a unit. They've got a couple pieces in the bullpen as well. Obviously it's not to the stature of Cleveland's bullpen, but I definitely like them better than Cleveland this year. Part of the reason is because of that Josh Naylor departure and not really replacing him with any meaningful power bat. So yeah, I don't know. I think I just have more faith in a healthy Minnesota team than I do the other two in that respect. And frankly, it might not happen. It probably won't happen because they always get hurt. I mean, Bruce Lewis is already injured again. So, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, and you don't want to predict injury, but it's kind of one of those things where it's hard to pick a team that hasn't proven that they can stay healthy.
And that's
Um,
totally fair. I get it.
and it sucks because, I mean, if everyone on their team is healthy, yeah, they definitely have the capability to perform. I mean, it's not like they're a non-talented team, but like without Royce Lewis, who's going to be their power hitter outside of Carlos Correa? They don't really have one. So I think they're also going to be a team that relies heavily on situational hitting. Byron Buxton, for example, another guy who's almost never healthy,
Right.
but always has the potential to be something special. Honestly, Byron Buxton should just stop playing defense. He should start being a DH.
Yeah, that might help. Yeah. All right, Broofy, tell us we're
I
all
mean, he's such
wrong.
Um,
a valuable hitter. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I think mine is a little different from you guys. I have KC, then I have the Tigers, but I don't have. You had Guardians at 3, right, Jacob? I had
Mhm.
Twins 3, Guardians 4, White Sox 5. So just one small change.
Yep. Again, 4-horse race at the top.
I
So
don't
could
disagree with that.
see any of them.
As long as you have the White Sox at 5, you can't be wrong.
Pretty
Yeah,
much, yeah.
exactly my point.
That's
Listen,
the
I
cesspool
I
of the.
gotta right because I don't want to have I don't want to have the title of worst team in baseball, right? We're gonna be fighting for that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, I actually think the Marlins are probably going to win that. I think the White Sox are going to be a little bit better than they were last year.
No way. So you think the Marlins are the worst team in baseball?
It's a tight race. It's the
Dude, the White Sox are going to have Joey Gallo pitching for them.
yeah.
You're not a big Xavier Edwards guy.
Dude, I'm a big Joey Gallo pitching guy. That guy's going to throw
Okay, what
nukes.
about Sandy
He's going to
though?
throw strikes. Dude, I don't think you understand how good Joey Gallo is on the bump, man.
Okay, what about Sandy though?
Broofy cannot tell that I'm fucking with him.
No, but I'm actually asking you though.
No, Broofy, Joey Gallo is a hitter.
Oh my god. Okay, well, what are your thoughts on Sandy going into this year?
Dude, the third one is from the top.
Yeah. There's another one.
Dude,
I
this is just
remember.
Jay Cutler.
Uh,
This is Jay Cutler.
so years ago, Joey Gallo would stream MLB The Show on Twitch, and one of the menu screens for
Mhm.
the Rangers had a really funny picture of him, and I can't find it, but it's very similar to this image
Look up
of
Joey
him.
Gallo, the surprise face, MLB The Show. Just type in MLB The Show. Because I remember this. That was so funny. Because he made a thing. He was like, "You make Marcus Simeon look so sexy," and then there's this one. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
that's the clip. Yeah, I don't know why it's not. It's taking forever. There you go. Yeah. And it's like, look, he very clearly like hurt himself or hit a pop fly that was really annoying. Like it's really funny. Anyway, good stuff.
That is
All right,
funny.
yeah. Look, bottom three, teams in baseball. It's between the White Sox, the Marlins, and the Rockies. Really, I mean,
The Rockies, yeah.
that's it.
Okay, but they don't have Dane Myers or Xavier Edwards though.
Dude, the top teams in Major League Baseball are between the Dodgers minor league affiliate, and the Dodgers double A affiliate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sad day. All right, AL
God, fuck the
West.
Dodgers.
Barufi, would you like to lead us off for this one, or would you rather us go first? So yeah.
I can. I can. No, I can.
Okay.
I want to see where I'm at with my knowledge. See if you guys agree with me. Okay.
Mhm.
I think I would
This one
probably
is hard
have.
to get it wrong.
It's hard to get it wrong. It does. It
Yeah.
doesn't look too bad for me. Um, I think I would have something like the Astros, and then Rangers. What like Angels, Mariners, Athletics, something like that.
Okay, so not
Almost,
bad.
almost.
Angels are probably, so I'll go through mine.
Over
I'm gonna
Rangers,
No, the Angels are probably 5.
probably 5.
I Yes, I expect the
Okay, but like
A's to be.
Mariners and Athletics are pretty bad, no?
No, so actually this is where I'm gonna get into it. So I'm actually having the Mariners winning the division this year.
Holy
Uh,
shit.
so the
Yes.
Astros lost Bregman. That's not gonna inevitably. That's not gonna be the reason why they lose. But
Okay.
they lost Bregman. They lost Kyle Tucker this offseason. Those are two
Okay.
massive pieces of their lineup. I'm already not a big believer in their rotation because their rotation kind of consists of people who don't have consistent performances. Like Ronald Blanco had a great year last year. I don't
Mhm.
expect him to continue that, for example.
It was a bit
I'm
of
not a big.
surprise, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. He was a reliever that just all of a sudden became a really
I
good
know
starting
he
pitcher.
locked in. Yeah, that I remember.
Same thing with Reynaldo Lopez
Oh
of
my
the
God,
Atlanta Braves.
I
But no,
Mhm.
I'm just.
forgot. I forgot that Kyle Tucker was traded to the Cubs.
Yeah,
Wow.
Kyle Tucker is a Chicago Cub.
Oh man,
I'm just not a huge fan of this
that's hilarious.
Astros roster and lineup. They have Jose Altuve playing left field, and he's just not good at playing left field.
Yeah.
There's a clip of him dropping a fly ball a couple nights ago. So I'm gonna have the Astros as my 4th team. Actually,
Whoa.
I'm a huge fan. Yeah, I'm really high on this A's team. I'm gonna have the A's winning 78 games this year and finishing 3rd in the division, right behind the Rangers. I have the Mariners winning 86 games this year, right behind that amazing rotation. So, Brophy, in case you don't know, they had all 5 of their starters pitched with less than a 3.5 ERA last year. That being Logan Gilbert as their 1, George Kirby as their 2, Luis Castillo as their 3, um,
I know Castillo.
Brian Wu as their 4, and then Bryce Miller as their 5. And Bryce Miller was in Cy Young conversations, for example. Like this team is
Mm.
really solid.
Luis Castillo's an
Um,
ace on half of the rest of the league. Like, it's a little
yeah,
ridiculous, their pitching staff.
lit- literally every single one of their pitchers would be the 1 or 2 on every other team.
I hear you. So, do they
And
have the best rotation in football or what? Or in football? In
in
baseball?
baseball,
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I
And it's not
hear
even close. Barufy, if you look in our fantasy baseball league, I have 4 of the Seattle Mariners
What
starters,
an
and Anthony
idiot.
has the other one.
you. Okay.
No, but
Still waiting on you to look at that
Yeah,
trade.
I was just gonna ask you about that. Anthony, would you think it's a bad trade if I sent him Bobby Witt for all of his Seattle pitchers?
I think you should ask for even more. than all the Seattle pitchers. You need
Even more, yeah.
you need Juan
Yeah.
Soto as well, so you can then trade Juan Soto to me.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
but it
That's
is
funny.
Well, this guy, he's not giving me an option. Like, I have to trade him Bobby Witt, from
Okay,
what it
sorry,
seems.
I don't have Bryce Miller either. I know Anthony has Logan Gilbert,
I do,
right?
yeah.
Okay. I wonder who has Bryce Miller.
Um, so yeah,
T Shane.
it is
But yeah.
um, it is really funny that you brought up the rotation because it is the best in baseball, and obviously that's the talking point of the Mariners. But I still have them third place in this division. I do not buy anything on the offensive side of the ball for them. I really can't stand how little they seem to care about offensive production. You know, they obviously have a couple guys, but like we talked about with some other teams so far, there's nothing that compels me on that regard. And I do think that at least at the top of the division, it is really tough competition. So they could do it, and I wouldn't be shocked because of that rotation. But if they don't, I'm not shocked either because they don't have an offense to produce like the other teams in this division do. That said, I am staking put, and well, actually, no, I'm not
You're
because
still picking the Astros?
no, I'm not because I just remembered
Okay,
that
I was
Kyle
about to
Tucker's a
say.
Cub. That is literally the difference
Yeah,
because so number
like the
one,
sixth best player in baseball, just
yeah,
traded for like nothing.
exactly. So my number one now, because I remembered that, is Texas. Then number two is Houston. Number three, Seattle. Number four, Sacramento Athletics, and then number five, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah. Brophy, listen to this.
Hmm.
Kyle Tucker got traded to the Cubs. The Astros in return got Isaac Paredes, who is he's okay. He's kind of like a league average player,
Okay.
if that. They got Hayden Wesneski, who he is the 73rd overall prospect. And then they got third base Cam Smith. Cam Smith is just like a team prospect. He's not
Wait,
overly
Dolphin
great or
legend Kemp
anything.
Smith?
No, no.
Almost.
He's the Cubs never. He's the Cubs like number 7 prospect, I think. So they got a league average player, a guy who could be good in the MLB, and then another guy who probably will only play like 1 or 2 years in Major League Baseball. And they gave up like a top 10 baseball player who is only 28, I think. No,
He's
he might be
young.
30, but
He still has another
he's
decade
28.
of
Yeah, Kyle
ball.
Tucker's 28.
Weren't the Astros like contending?
Yeah.
So why are they making the trade?
They didn't
Good
want to
question.
pay him probably. He was going to command a lot more money. They have a lot of
Yeah,
money
they
on the
did.
books already. So trade him.
Seeing this?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess. Okay, I guess.
And then they also let their quote unquote star third baseman walk, but he got like a $40 million a year contract.
It's a little ridiculous what Bregman got, and I'm not a really big Bregman guy, but
Yeah,
I think he will be a nice complement in Boston's lineup. I didn't see the appeal with
because of
Houston
the wall.
anymore. That's a big factor, of course. Yeah, not that Houston's left field is very big either, but you know, it's no green monster.
Right. But yeah, and regardless of how you feel about Bregman, it's still definitely going to be felt when you lose Bregman and Tucker in that lineup. And Jose Altuve is likely to regress at some point, especially since he's paying so much attention to learning a new position. I just don't see that team being what they were. And for the A's, I think the A's are going to be a lot of fun this year. I think the A's are going to have a massive offensive. The A's might put up like a historic offensive performance this year just because they're playing in a minor league ballpark.
I like what the direction the A's are headed as well. I'm just not quite yet ready to give them honors, you know, and especially in my case over a historic rotation like Seattle. But I do like what they're doing. I like their lineup. They're going to be a fun team to watch at the very least. And just because I have them fourth doesn't mean that they're going to be terrible. Just you know, yeah. And then as far as Houston's concerned, I get it. I totally get it, especially with the Kyle Tucker thing, which is why I moved them from 1 to 2. But they still have guys all throughout the lineup, I think, and I am a fan of that rotation. Even if it might not be quite as good this year, I do also expect Hunter Brown, for example, to take a leap too, to make up for whatever Framber Valdez regresses or something,
Yeah, Hunter Brown's getting a lot of props this offseason. The Royals shelled that guy last year, so he must not be good. So
Oh yeah, yeah, because the Royals have never done anything bad. Now, National League East could be interesting on the
NL
top, I
East.
think. But yeah, let's hear it.
So this is going to be a highly contentious division for everyone that's not a Marlins fan.
Shut up.
So you have 3 top 10 teams here, I believe. I think the Mets, Braves, and Phillies, all 3 are going to be making the playoffs this year, and I'm actually going to have the Mets coming away with this division. I'm a huge fan of what they did this offseason, going out and getting a top 5 player in baseball. Just because you have to pay him doesn't mean that it's not worth it. Like you see people trading away hauls for Juan Soto, and they ended up getting him for free, essentially, because all they had to do is pay for him. So I love that they got him this offseason. Their rotation is still pretty solid and is going to be backed up by an elite offensive lineup. And I think they're going to be shocking most people this year, because I'm assuming that most people are going to have the Phillies as their 1 seed out of that division. Is Anthony freezing for you too?
I'm just
No.
sitting so
Let me hear.
incredibly still that I become invisible to the eye.
There you go. All right.
Okay, Drax. Okay, so I'm gonna stop yapping. I'm gonna take the Mets for my 1, the Phillies for my 2, Braves 3, Nationals 4, Marlins 5. Look for the Nationals to also be a pretty eventful team this year. I could see them winning upwards of 70 games, 75 games
Well,
maybe.
you see, you're wrong. Okay, so let me take it away for this one. So this one is fairly
Okay.
simple. Okay, it's very clearly Marlins 1. Okay,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mets 2nd, Phillies 3rd, Braves 4, Nationals 5, and I'm not taking any further questions.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Listen. Not a
Fair enough.
single game of baseball has been played -2, so anything can happen, right? 162-0 still in the
No
cards.
further comment.
So
Get back to
Jacob,
me. Get back to me after 160 plus games. Okay.
fair
Okay.
enough. So Jacob, ours is nearly identical. Just flip the top here. I do have Philly still winning. I would not be shocked
Okay.
at all if the Mets do as well. I heavily considered the Mets winning this division as well, for all the reasons you said. But I am sticking with Philadelphia. Philadelphia 1, New York 2, Atlanta 3, and I'm in agreement with you as well with Washington. I think they're going to be a really fun team, similar to the A's actually in trajectory for me this year. But they're still
Mhm.
at number 4, unfortunately. Just a
Yes.
tough division. And then number 5 in the bottom, in the cellar, Miami Marlins.
What?
Listen, I didn't write the script. It was
Hey,
just there.
hey, you're not gonna like where the Giants will be put. Okay. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
You
I
know
can't
what's
wait for
really
that.
funny about this is if we did collaborative rankings, the Marlins would be above the Nationals because of Roofy's 1 placement.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, rightfully so. Rightfully
Yeah,
so.
this is this stupid bastard, I swear.
Look at the guy with the 2 shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
This pretentious guy.
Actually, if you wanted to read it in a
It says
non
loot.
No. If you wanted to, well, yeah, it's backwards for you guys. It's actually forwards now. It's usually backwards
Yeah.
for me. But if you wanted to read it in the most
There
disparaging
you
way
go.
possible, you would read it as fool, not tool. Anyway,
Like the
yeah,
Roblox
stupid
step
joke.
sound, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ooh.
oof. Yeah,
Lovely.
dumb joke. Anyway, NL Central. I guess I'll kick this one off. Look, really quiet off season from the Brewers, but I'm still gonna. And I did this last year too. Another quiet off season, and they ended up pulling away again after everyone was talking about the Cubs. Now the Cubs have a lot more reason to believe in them this year, and they still are 2nd place for me. So congratulations, Chicago. But Milwaukee won,
And they're
Chicago
still
2.
0-2.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Chicago 2, Pittsburgh 3, Cincinnati 4, and I think that'll be a really nice tight race there for the 3rd place spot. 2 ascending teams that have a nice young core that could be really good in the coming years. And I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, if the Brewers end up really underwhelming this year because they haven't done much in the past two off seasons, and that just finally catches up with them. Similar to what I said about the Rays, right? But I think the Brewers are a little bit better and a little bit ahead of schedule in that regard. But again, wouldn't shock me, and then it wouldn't shock me to see one of these teams, be really competitive for a playoff spot. And in last place, St. Louis, just kind of a sad team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna start from the bottom up. I'm gonna go Cardinals at 5, and then I'll also be picking an NL Central team to finish in the 4th place spot, and that's
No,
gonna be the Pittsburgh.
No
That's
way.
gonna be the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No way.
I'll
fucking
have the
mind
Cubs
blown.
finishing 3rd, the Reds finishing 2nd, and then I'll have the Brewers winning the division as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, credit to both
I
the
have exactly what you have, Jacob.
yeah. You have exactly what he has. No,
Yeah,
all right, that's fair.
what he has.
I will say though,
Not you.
credit to both of the central divisions for still being on the weaker side compared to the rest of the league, but being very fun and competitive with tight races at the top four teams. Frankly,
One could say they're
Dude,
very
it's
neutral,
actually really
right?
funny. It's really funny because if you look at it, well, actually, the AL Central doesn't have a Cubs-like team, but you have the Brewers are the Twins,
mm-hmm.
the Reds and Pirates are your Royals and your Tigers. The Pirates are probably the Tigers, and the Reds are probably the Royals. And then your Cardinals are your White Sox, and
Yeah,
then we don't have a Guardians pair up
yeah, that's a very very
because the
funny.
Guardians definitely wouldn't trade for Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, that's a funny comparison. Yeah, I definitely see that. All right. So nice and quick
Um,
there for the NL Central. We can move on to the NL West, the final division here. I guess I'll start since my San Francisco Giants belong in this division. Uh, do I even need to say it? No. Second place, Arizona Diamondbacks. Third place, San Francisco Giants. Fourth place, San Diego Padres. Fifth place, Colorado Rockies. Uh, there you go.
Fair enough. I'm gonna be putting the Padres at the number 2 spot, the Diamondbacks at the number 3 spot, Giants at 4, and Rockies at 5, and
Gross.
Dodgers at 6.
I
Yeah,
Dodgers
Dodgers
in
at
six, bro.
AAA affiliates at five actually. Rockies in sixth.
I have Padres 2,
Ugh.
Diamondbacks 3, Giants 4, Rockies 5. Yeah.
The Padres are so gross, man. What do you guys see in the Padres?
A really good lineup. I mean, they're gonna miss Jerks and Profar, but I think they'll be fine. Bravy's just picking them to finish second because they have Luis Arias.
Is that true? Oh, he didn't beat the
Big Arise
allegations
guy, yes.
with that eyebrow raise. Did not beat the allegations. Look,
Yeah.
Big Arise guy.
the
he,
Padres managed to
he thinks
underwhelm.
about Arias in the shower.
Oh God, not another Jerry reference. The Padres seem to underwhelm often, and I do think that their lineup is a bit overrated at this point. Obviously got Tatis. Arias is going to get on base, but that's it, right? Um, like who else do they really have? They've got the Jackson Merrill, who had a really great year last year too, but I don't know. Like it's
Well,
missing that oomph to me.
I think they have
They
six
got Manny
unis.
Machado and Jason Hayward.
Does that answer your question? I think they
Yeah.
have
Oh,
six
Jackson
unis.
Merrill's really good, Anthony.
Well, I did mention Merrill. I just did. But like that's
Oh,
three
my bad.
guys in my opinion, right? Like those are three guys. And
Xander Bogaerts, Jake Cronenworth.
Xander Bogarts in 2025 doesn't move the needle for me at all. And frankly, since he's joined the
Hmm.
Padres, he hasn't been very good. He's not lived up to the hype any year really. And Cronenworth is a nice piece, but he's not a guy. I don't know, not to me at least. So and then same thing with like the rotation. I just not bought in. They've lost a few guys in their rotation. They still have Cease, which is a really nice piece, obviously, but I don't know. I'm expecting the Padres actually to finish just south of 500 this year. Um, that's how I see it. And then
Fair enough.
my Giants in
Um,
third. I've liked the additions that they've made a lot. I think it's going to help a lot with the lineup. I think Verlander, for 1 year would be a nice addition to the rotation. He sip from the fountain of youth a little bit? Certainly. Could he also get injured a month in? Certainly. That could happen. But I will say, and a little bit of a spoiler for my awards, I think Logan Webb can really refine it and get it down, especially with an improved lineup now. He's going to have more offense behind him when he's pitching. I think this is the year that he wins the Cy Young.
I mean, Logan Webb is good. Like he's been good enough to win a Cy Young for a
He's been
long
knocking on
time.
the door, yeah.
I do want to share a fun stat for Barufi.
Let's hear it.
um, so you know who Fernando Tatis is,
Yes,
obviously,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Yes. Did you know that he was a Chicago White Sox?
I did not know that.
Yeah, Fernando Tatis started off as a White Sox, and he was traded to the Padres for a major league pitcher who went on to have 3 seasons with the White Sox. In those 3 seasons, he had a 7 ERA, a 5 ERA, and a 4.5 ERA.
Well, that's lovely. Let's go. Dude, the White Sox, man. I mean, I think you can make a whole list of shit like this, no?
Yeah, probably
Definitely with
over
the
the
White
past few years.
Sox.
All right. So let's do some rapid fire awards, as I alluded to, awards predictions if you guys have any. And then what's your World Series matchup and who wins?
Okay, you start.
All right. I've got Logan Webb NL Cy Young, and then I've got Tariq Skubal AL Cy Young. I think Skubal a really good favorite for that award, and then Logan Webb. I think it's his year. He's not really a favorite by any means. Paul Skeens is actually the betting favorite in a lot of sites. And then as far as MVPs are concerned, I wanted to go a little bit out of the box. Who did I have written down here? Here, while I find it real quick, you go ahead.
So obviously, my AL MVP is going to be Bobby Witt Jr. He has every means to win that award. He is without a doubt the best 5-tool player in all of Major League Baseball, and I understand the people who still aren't uh, or who still think that Aaron Judge is a better player than him. But if you factor in defensive value and base running, it's not really a conversation. There's nobody on Bobby Witt Jr.'s level. So I'm going to be taking him to win the MVP in the American League. Um, the fact that Shohei Ohtani is getting back on the bump just kind of solidifies for me that he's going to be the NL MVP again. He's already one of the best hitters in baseball, if not the best, and he is pretty solidified as the best overall player in baseball, especially when he
Is he
provides
pitching
that
this year?
value on the mound. Yes, he will be pitching by
Oh man, it's gonna
mid-season.
be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Um, so the value that you provide in the NL, especially because the NL MVP race, I believe, is going to be a little bit lesser than the AL MVP race. So I'm going to be pretty comfortable in picking Ohtani to repeat as the NL MVP. My Cy Young picks are going to be actually a little bit of a shock here. I'm going to go with Bryce Miller from the Seattle Mariners. I really like his stuff. I think he has amazing strikeout potential. And even though he won't be the ace of that rotation, I think that statistically he will have the best season in the American League. In the NL, I'm a little bit torn.
Sandy.
It's
It's
definitely
not
not going to be
happening.
Sandy, dude. If it's Sandy, he's going to be pitching for a different team. Um, yeah, I guess if I had to pick a specific one, and I'm going to go a little bit bold. I'm going to go with Spencer Schwellenbach of the Atlanta Braves. He also was really, really, really good last year. He has a ton of potential as a younger guy who's kind of just getting started. He hasn't been pitching his whole life. He started off as a position player and switched to pitcher like only 3 or 4 years ago. So there's tons of upside with this guy, and I think he'll take another step forward this year with the Braves.
Fuck that Otani favorite thing. That's stupid. I'm not predicting that at all. We're gonna go, and it's not very under the radar either. So I did clickbait you a little bit with that one, but I'm going with now. Maybe the AL one is a little under the radar. I'm gonna pick Corey Seager to win AL MVP. I think if he's healthy, he can really become back into that conversation of one of the best players in baseball. So I like that. I'm a fan of that. I think Houston or I think Texas in general will again become themselves that they were 2 years ago a little bit. And then For NL, it's going to be Juan Soto for me. One of my favorite players in baseball in general. I wish he was a Giant so bad. Yeah, there you go.
Can you show me the AL, because I think my question involved the AL.
Also, you can't get on to me for not having under the radar MVP picks when my Cy Young picks were Bryce Miller and Spencer Schwellenbach.
I wasn't dogging on you. I was
What
just
was the
dogging on
question?
Shohei winning a second time because it's annoying.
If Shohei Ohtani was a San Francisco Giant, you would love that guy.
Oh my
No,
god.
I don't hate Ohtani. I hate the media surrounding him and surrounding baseball in general. It's so bad. I have no qualms with
Okay, but
him.
you
Maybe.
okay, but you can't lie. The meme of Ohtani will be up in 2 at bats
It is
is
funny.
so funny.
It
It's
is
so
funny.
funny.
It
That
is
is
funny.
so funny.
It's very funny. Yes.
All the picks you need to know from me is that Xavier Edwards is going to be the MVP for the NL, and that Sandy is going to be the Cy Young.
Okay.
And that's all you need to know from me.
All right. Fantastic. And now World Series predictions. Go ahead, Murphy. You can start us off with this one.
Definitely think the Dodgers, and then for the AL, I like what you guys been telling me about the Mariners, but I also liked what I saw from the Tigers
Do not
last
think the
year.
Mariners have playoff
No,
success.
I'm not gonna, and I'm not
Also
sure
pick them to go
how
third
deep they
in the
are
division.
offensively. Yeah, no, I'm not going Mariners. I'm just saying they definitely sound better than what I thought they would be. So I'll have Dodgers out of National, and maybe a bold pick, but I kind of like the Tigers. I liked what I saw from them last year, and I will go with the obvious pick in the National and a little bolder in the American.
Definitely fair. It's not impossible that the Tigers make it there. I mean, they already had a really good postseason run last year.
Yep.
Only fell short by their horrible rotation.
Yeah,
I see. This is where we get to have a lot of fun here.
with the Tigers taking it, Tigers win it. Fuck the Dodgers.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
fuck the Dodgers.
See, I'm gonna be even more fun. The Dodgers are gonna lose in the playoffs to the Padres again.
Oh
because I just think
God,
that's so funny.
that would be so funny. I would love that so much.
But the Padres are still gonna miss the World Series again. I'm gonna have the New York Mets facing off against the Kansas City Royals for the second time in the World
So
Series.
fucking annoying. A decade apart exactly, too.
And I'm gonna take the Mets in 6.
Okay. Yeah, trying to be edgy over there.
Okay, but okay, unironically, okay, it just theoretically, it's not gonna happen, but theoretically, all right, let's say that Sandy has another career year, okay, and then Yuri Perez somehow is him. Okay, I know you're not a
He's
big
on the
Yuri
IL
Perez.
right now.
I know, but he's gonna come back. All right, so
When
say I don't know. Okay, like that guy, I don't know. He glass, but listen, that's not the point. Okay. And then say Dane Myers and Xavier Edwards are both like competing for MVP, hypothetically. Okay. How fun would it be if they went to the playoffs?
Not fun at all because it's a first round exit.
What?
Regardless of who's carrying your team, it's a
Okay,
first
okay,
round
but
exit.
what if they win? But what if they win the first round, huh?
This is way too hypothetical now. You're asking.
But would it be fun? Would it be fun then? Would it be fun?
No, because you're asking for
Okay.
unlikely to happen on top of impossible happening. That's not fun for me.
Which one is the hardest part? Them making the playoffs, or
Making the playoffs?
Dane Myers and Xavier Edwards being them? Which one is harder?
Ooh, them making the playoffs. They can beat them all they
They're making
want.
the playoffs.
That doesn't mean they're making the playoffs. They're still going to be
Okay.
fifth in the division.
Hey, listen, don't get me wrong. Okay, don't think that I'm happy with this Marlins team. Peter Bendix is a moron. Okay, don't get me wrong. Okay, he's already made it pretty clear that Sandy will likely get traded, and I mean, that might be the stab, and the final stab in a lot of Marlins fans' hearts.
they did rescind the statement. He is no longer on a innings limit, even
I
though he's
saw that.
definitely
I saw that.
he's
But the
still gonna be
way
on an innings limit.
I mean, I think I talked about it in a previous episode, right? It's such a dishonest thing right? And it's a slap in the face of the fans. And I mean, after all the Jazz, I mean, Jazz was loved by the fans, whether you think he's overrated or not. He was loved by the city of Miami. Burger, um, Sandy being out for so long, Yuri being out for so long, um, DOC as well. DOC was supposed to be a Marlin for life. Sanchez is out for a long ass time. So being a Marlins fan is hell. Like I thought being a Dolphins fan was hard, which is impossible. So consider how it is to be a Marlins fan.
Consider being a
Okay.
Sharks fan as well.
But you've seen recent success with the Sharks. What is
No,
my recent
it's been
success
almost
with
a
the Dolphins?
decade since the recent success. What are you talking about?
Uh,
Almost a decade
Okay,
now.
but it was there, right? It was there.
No, they didn't win.
What have I seen from the
They
Dolphins?
lost.
But you got there. You got there. What have I seen from the Dolphins since I was born?
Nothing.
Thank you.
What have I seen from the Sharks since I was born? Nothing. The Dolphins have made the playoffs a few times. They've won. They've been good.
Well, I mean, Sharks sound scarier than the Dolphins, so you lose right there.
They do, and their logo's better too. Let's go down that road.
Yeah, it is a better logo.
It's a nice logo. It's a nice logo. I love the logo. I can't even disagree. Obviously,
See?
I'll say you're
There you
wrong,
go.
but I can disagree. Okay.
I'm wrong. I'm
See,
wrong,
the
but you
thing is,
agree.
we're having the argument of Tampa Bay Rays versus Marlins right now. Actually, no, we're not. We're not, because
It's not
you're
comparable.
saying no. I mean, it kind of is, because what you're trying to do is you're basically saying you suck every single year, and the division rival is the best of all time. The Sharks don't have the second part of that.
It would be like if the
But
Washington
yeah, I hear
Nationals
you.
lost in
But
2019 instead of won. That's the comparison there.
listen, I hear you. But can you ever see me being a Rays fan, like, or being a Bucks fan? Do you know how far I live from Tampa?
Yeah, it's a few hours. 5 hours probably.
Uh,
Maybe 6.
Hey! In my defense, I told you to be a Rays fan.
I
whenever you were
understand.
first
I
getting into
understand.
baseball.
I understand it's an easier life, but one, I'm accustomed to moronic teams. Okay. Second off, you gotta understand. I only have the Panthers. I literally only have the Panthers. And second off, it is my hometown team. So
I mean, to be fair, I don't necessarily think that the Rays is an easier life. It's just at least you win some games.
I mean, right now it's easier, right? Like right at this moment, it's a better situation.
You don't even have a stadium.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? The Marlins have at least a stadium.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful stadium, by the way. I love Lone Depot Park. Lone Depot Park is a beautiful, beautiful stadium.
Shitty
I
name.
love it. Shut up.
You wish you were Oracle Park. That's got aura.
To be honest, every time I've gone to San Francisco, I've always tried to go to a ball game, but it never takes place when I'm there.
Man.
So it sucks ass, but I really do
Hey,
want the
real quick,
opportunity.
well, Anthony, did you give your World Series prediction?
I don't think so. So real
Don't
quick,
think so.
I've got the Mets over the Rangers. Be fun.
Valid. We both have the Mets winning. Okay. And then real quick, I want to do a quick glaze session of JJ Piccolo real quick. He is the current MLB version of GM. He handles all the scouting and drafting and stuff like that. But he adopted the Royals management in 2022, and when he got them, they had 0 top 100 prospects. They had the worst
Jesus
farm
Christ.
system in Major League Baseball, and they were coming off of a how many win season? Kansas City Royals
12.
2022 record. They had a 65 and 97 record that year.
I was close.
He has since turned their farm system into a top. I mean, it's not great. It's still not good, but it's a top 20 unit, which is at least better 2/3.
The glaze,
now
the
have
glaze
3
couldn't
top-
even work properly.
Hey.
Okay.
Well, Well, listen. Okay, he's developing the farm system for sure. It has consistently increased since he got the team. We now have 3 top 100 prospects: the number 22, number 48, and number 85. So 2 top 50 prospects. And he turned a 65 win team into a 86 win team in 2 years.
Great. Love that for you, man.
So
Fantastic.
Golden.
You're winning the division.
Listen, you know what? We should swap our GMs. How about that?
no.
Just for one day.
No. He's
You
been
don't
with
want- you don't
Kansas
want-
City.
Just for one day,
You don't
we
want
can
Peter
see how much
Bendix?
damage.
Yeah, just one
we can see how
day,
much damage that Miami's general manager
Dude,
can do
look,
to the
look,
Royals
look,
in one
look,
day.
look. Look.
It would be
How am
like
not
if I
supposed to
was
be
a
sad?
GM.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. How am I not supposed to be sad?
That is a little sad.
Hey, all I know is that we had the talk of could we be a better NFL GM? I think that's in the realm of possibility. We could definitely not be a better baseball GM.
No,
Listen,
I couldn't be
and
a
it's
better
that
NFL GM either.
that little rant that I had the other day, right? Peter Bendix has such an easy like business life. He just went up to ownership and he was like, I'm going to dismantle this team, and if you give me authorization, I have 6 years of free work, and you have to pay me for it, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, you have 6 years, and you have an excuse because the team is gonna suck, right? And you're gonna get plenty of young guys, and I think obviously, and this is just me thinking because here's the thing, right? Brazilian soccer is so corrupt, and I can talk more about that. What are we doing? Is this another version of a Nazi
He
salute?
was
What are
supposed
we
to
doing?
finish his goddamn drink, and then he put it down as soon as I started to imitate him.
Lovely.
Stupid
Okay,
joke.
fine. Here. Let me
I
Let me
can get
refill it.
to I can get to how corrupt Brazilian soccer is at another day. Okay.
We'd love
So I
that.
just imagine if Peter Bendix sounds like a Brazilian soccer GM. Okay, he takes advantage of ownership. Okay, and ownership is simply okay with it. So listen, he builds whatever the fuck he wants, and he gets paid for it. Isn't that a genius idea? Like a genius career?
I wish
Like
I could
I
do
want
that.
to be a GM. I want to be a GM of a bad fucking team.
Yeah.
Isn't that an easier job than being a
could-
backup quarterback in the
You could
NFL?
commission an island in the middle of the
Dude,
Pacific that's
dude,
just a
hear me
giant
out.
middle
Hear me
finger.
out.
It's
sounds
what I'm
like fun.
saying.
Hear me out. Imagine just being the GM of the Dodgers, where you can just look at Google and look at top free agents in Major League Baseball,
And just
and
throw
then
them
just
money. You just throw them money. There's
Collect them
nothing
like
else you have
Infinity
to do.
Stones.
Do you think they care? Do you think they care about scheme fits? Do you think they care about work ethic?
No, that's why they've only won 1.5 World Series in the last 5 years. Is because they don't actually build a concise team. They
Okay,
just
I'm
build
not
the
supposed. I don't think that's a bad
all-star
record.
team.
Okay, to be fair, I don't think that's a bad record.
It kind of is.
Okay.
You won,
It kind of
but
is.
it kind of
Brophy.
is.
When you, Brophy, this is a team that's expected to win 115 games, and
Well, I do think they're going to be contenders for a long time, though. So it's still the jury's still out on them.
Brophy, this isn't a new thing. That's what you're missing. The
No, I
Dodgers have been
understand.
doing this since 2010.
I understand, but then they literally get Shohei Ohtani and they win it in their first
14.
season. Like I think they're going to keep doing it.
We shall see.
Unfortunately, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that's how that's how their management is rolling over there. So my question to you guys is: do you think it's easier to be a GM of a bad team in the MLB, given my thoughts, or to be a backup quarterback in the NFL?
It's easier to be a backup quarterback.
It's easier, right? It's easier, but does it have the same job security as a GM of a bad team
Yes.
in the MLB?
Chase Daniel made like $30 million throughout his entire career as a backup quarterback for 15
But
years.
in one
And he
team,
only had 8 snaps, right?
Yeah, he played like nothing.
I hear you. But in one team,
No, but I don't care about. Oh look, I get to travel the country now because I'm a backup quarterback. That's how I see it.
I hear you, but I'm imagining my life as the GM of a bad
Anthony's like, do I have to hold a
MLB
clipboard or
team.
can I hold a camera?
I've never been to Minneapolis before. Why don't I just go back up Kirk Cousins? I mean, my good, that's a perfect job. Kirk Cousins tears his ACL. No! I have to
When you
play
become important, the
football!
work in your life is ruined. Yeah, I know. So
Oh.
listen, I totally agree that it's easier to be a backup quarterback, but I think it's like management wise, it's easier to be it's easier to be a GM of a bad MLB team than out of any other league. If you're a GM of a bad NBA team, NFL team, or NHL team, you have a shorter time frame to work with, I think.
Yeah, but also no. I mean, the Thunder GM had like 6 years, and he did a master class.
It depends on the situation, for sure.
It depends. It really
And
depends.
you also need to
Yeah.
like have some kind of tangible progress, right? I mean, it's almost like San Francisco 49ers could be another example real quick as we wrap up here. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch coming in, they're
Definitely
fresh,
progress there,
first time
yeah.
head coach for Kyle. John Lynch was just a broadcaster, former player before that. They come in
Yeah.
fresh, it's a relatively new owner as well. J.D. York had just gotten the job like 12 years ago or whatever. You have literally nothing, but you provided tangible results, and that ultimately culminated in what we have now in San Francisco. So,
What is going
Yeah, a
on in my
rebuild, a full
Discord?
rebuild.
yeah.
There's something wrong with my Discord.
Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our coastal
Oh, that's why.
call.
Is it?
If you have made it this far in the episode, we greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you have any Major League Baseball predictions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, tune in for more content. We upload episodes every single week. The most consistent podcast on YouTube with under 50 subscribers. So,
Well, let's
hey,
go.
hold on.
be one of our first 100.
137. Okay, that's what we're at right now at the time of recording.
Let's
Don't
go.
undersell us.
Wait, actually,
Hey,
137. Yeah.
wait, not bad. Let's go.
well, part of that's Anthony's solo content, but yes, be part of the
Non-existent.
first 1,000.
Yeah.
Be part of the first 1,000 and hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it, everybody. Thank you very much.
get water out of this water bottle as a reward.
There you go. Yeah, we'll start selling.
Yes.
We'll start selling our bathwater online and stuff.
Okay, hold on.
We'll
This is my
do-
drink water. This is my mouth water. Okay.
Oh, even better.
We'll do a
It was
better.
inside of you.
environment
Even
calendar
better.
for.
Yeah, I spit it back in.
Yeah, you backwash. All right. Yep. Yeah. There,
All right.
there you go. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And this has been Coast to Coast.
These my dollars make it hurt.